So far, every person featured on our Employee of the Month segment has been a person, but today we are thrilled to honor a dog. The dog is called Bass. Bass is a Belgian Shepherd, served in the U.S. Marine Corps. He's been on more than 350 explosive sweeps in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. He saved a lot of lives by sniffing out at least 5 Taliban IEDs during a raid. And for that, he's been awarded the animal version of the Victoria Cross. Multi-purpose canine Bass joins us now with his former handler, retired Marine Staff Sergeant Alex Schnell. Alex and Bass, thank you so much for coming on. Tell us the basics, if you would, about Bass. How old is he? What did he do? What's he like?
Yeah, absolutely, Tucker. Thanks for having us on.
Of course.
Bass and I served for 5 years together in the Marine Corps, and then you mentioned that we did the 3 overseas combat deployments. Bass's main job as a military working dog, he's kind of a specialized type. It's called a multi-purpose canine, and his 3 main capabilities were explosive detection, the apprehension or bite capability, and then being able to track enemy combatants. And over the last 2 decades, the greatest threat that coalition forces faced were those IEDs, improvised explosive devices, and military working dogs have by far been the best asset to try and mitigate that threat. So that was primarily what we relied on Bass for.
So his breed is reportedly the smartest in the world, the smartest dogs there are. That's what people say. Is that your experience with him?
Yeah, I mean, Belgian Mals are very smart, very intelligent by nature, but Bass especially is one of the most, if not the most intelligent dogs that I've had the pleasure of working with. And I think that's just due to his resiliency and the ability for him to kind of read the emotions in a certain situation, especially on the battlefield, and be able to perform when the stakes are that high. I mean, it's a lot to ask an animal to do that, and the fact that he has done that on so many occasions is just, it's pretty special.
It's a lot to ask a person to do that, and it's amazing that dogs do that. So I think the question a lot of people have is you work with this dog in combat arenas, and then both of you leave the service. Do you stay with Bass?
Yeah, Bass retired about 2 weeks before I was honorably discharged, actually. So I got to adopt him directly after I left my time with active duty, and it doesn't always work out that way. It has a lot to do with the timing of the unit and the specific dog. In our situation, we were pretty fortunate to be able to do that. And one thing I wanted to highlight with the retirement for these dogs is that once they leave active duty, they no longer receive medical care or support from the U.S. government. And that's one thing we'd love to change, but that's kind of where some nonprofits step in. And I'm involved with a group called the United States War Dogs Association, uswardogs.org, and they help provide medical care and financial support for these retired military working dogs that have given so much for us. And Bass has really enjoyed his retirement, but last October was diagnosed with a pretty aggressive form of blood cancer called hemangiosarcoma, and he had to have emergency surgery. He's done some chemotherapy. I'm happy to say that he's in remission, which is fantastic. But those medical bills are expensive, and U.S. War Dogs, footed the whole bill for his treatment and provides medical care for over 1,200 dogs every single month, which gives them, the quality of life that these guys deserve after doing so much for us without even really having a say in it,
I love that, and I love that there's a group like that. This really is, underneath it all, a really nice country, the nicest. Alex, thank you for coming on, and it's great to meet you, Bass.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tucker. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, no one ever says it out loud, which is kind of weird because it's impossible not to notice that a lot of major news organizations, NBC News, all of a sudden sound like Hutu radio.